rooms still carry traces of salt air and yesterday's perfume. Sunlight slipped across the suitcase, left open near the corner of the room. You stood by the balcony railing, watching boats dissolve into the haze, coffee warming both your hands, while morning drifted through the bay. Below us, scooters crossed the avenue, past old cafes by the sea. A baker opened faded shutters as waves curled quietly beneath the street. And somewhere from a distant radio, an old love song played low and thin, blending with the sound of palm leaves moving softly in the wind. Nothing rushed those early hours, even time moved carefully. Like the shoreline wanted one more moment before the daylight reached the city. Slow rising, stretching wide beyond the blue. Every road beside the ocean still reminds me of you. Warm light dancing on the dashboard, barefoot mornings near the sea. Like the world became much smaller in those quiet days we leave behind. We drove south beyond the marina, toward a beach no tourists knew. Windows down the whole way there, warm air carrying shades of blue. You rested your feet beside the window, tracing circles through the fogged up glass. Tiny roadside fruit cafes disappeared slowly as we passed. At an old motel near the coastline, Bougainvillea climbed the walls. The sleepy dog beneath the staircase didn't move at all. You found seashells near the boardwalk and slipped them into your jacket pocket, laughing when the tide reached farther than either of us expected. Even silence sounded warmer somewhere near the ocean line, like every unfinished conversation could simply drift with time. Slow horizon, stretching wide beyond the blue. Every road beside the ocean still reminds me of you. Warm light dancing on the dashboard, barefoot mornings near the sea. Like the world became much smaller in those quiet days we'd leave behind. Ooh. Ah. Ah. Years later, certain mornings still arrive with the same pale coastal light. And suddenly I remember everything. The balcony chairs, the tangled sheets, the radio humming through the night. The tiny cafe near the harbor where we stayed too long one day. Your sunglasses beside the coffee cups, and palm shadows slowly changing shape. Some memories don't disappear, they soften gently at the edges, like postcards faded by sunlight, still beautiful all those years. Slow horizons, still glowing. Teardrops stayed on the balcony long after the room fell quiet. Warm wind moved the linen curtains. The sunlight crossed the floorboard slowly. Your footprints disappeared beside the tide, near the edge of the empty shore. And the coastal highway kept shining beyond the palms forever.
Morning painted lines across the ceiling as the ocean shimmered far below. You were sitting near the balcony, wrapped in white sheets and sunlight glow. The coffee maker hummed softly, wild gulls circled near the pier. Palm tree shadows touched the hallway and disappeared as light grew clear. Outside the shoreline slowly opened, little cafes swept their floors. Fishing boats returned to harbor, leaving silver trails offshore. You looked at me across the table, with sleepy eyes and tangled hair. Quiet silence felt warmer with you there. No headlines, no crowded noise, just warm air drifting through the room, and another coastal morning blooming slowly into noon. Sunlit waves rolling softly through my mind. An old forgotten bay, past fruit stands painted turquoise blue, and faded signs along the way. You collected tiny seashells near the edge of the wooden dock, while warm tide water crossed our footprints and disappeared against the rocks. At a small cafe near the harbor, through half the afternoon. Old men played cards beside the doorway. Slow jazz echoed through the room. The waitress smiled like she had seen us in another summer long ago, like we somehow already belonged there, among the salt air and the glow. Those little scenes still visit sometimes, without warning, late at night. Tiny fragments of the coastline, still alive beneath the light. Sunlit waves rolling softly through my mind. Your reflection on the water still returns from time to time. Every rope beside carries traces of those days. Coffee cups and open windows, and mornings wrapped tides do, pulling moments out to sea. But some mornings stay untouched somehow, exactly where they used to be. The balcony chairs near the window, the ceiling fan spinning slow, your postcards taped beside the mirror, the scent of sunscreen on your clothes. Sometimes peace survives in details, small enough to almost miss, like warm wind moving through curtains, your fingers brushing mine like this. Sunlit waves still wash softly through my thoughts, across all coastal conversations and the little things we lost. Somewhere boats are leaving harbor, under skies washed pale and blue, and another quiet ocean morning still begins somewhere with you. The record player kept on turning long after the coffee went cold. Palm shadows stretched across the balcony in fading lines of gold. Your footprints vanished near the shoreline, where the tide reached through the sand, and the empty coastal highway shimmered beneath the warmth of morning again.
The smell of coffee filled the hallway before the sunlight touched the room. Ocean air moved through the curtains, carrying traces of perfume. You stood barefoot in the kitchen, wearing one of my old shirts, reading names from faded postcards scattered loosely by your purse. Outside, the palms were swaying slowly, their shadows stretching on the street. A scooter passed beside the seawall, somewhere underneath the heat. And from the cafe near the corner, an old jazz record drifted low, mixing with a distant harbor and the sound of waves below. The morning never asked for much, just quiet hearts and open windows, the kind of peace you only notice when the world finally moves slow. Palm and coffee mornings, sunlight dancing on your skin, little moments by the ocean I still carry deep within. Every coastal road we wandered still glows softly in my mind, like warm reflections on the water, fading slowly with the tide.
the tabletops, quiet shades of gold and blue. Nothing felt dramatic back then. No grand words we had to say, just slow mornings near the shoreline, learning how to stay present in a day. Palm and coffee mornings, sunlight dancing on your skin, little moments by the ocean I still carry deep within. Heavy coastal road we wandered still glow softly in my mind, like warm reflections on the water, fading slowly with the tide. Now sometimes in unfamiliar city I catch the scent of roasted beans, and suddenly I'm back beside you in those warm tropical scenes. The balcony chairs beside the window, the ceiling fan turning overhead, your sandals left beside the doorway, books and newspapers near the bed. Some memories stay weightless, no matter how much time moves on, like sunlight trapped inside a room, long after the morning's gone. Palm and coffee mornings still return through certain songs, and empty roads beside the ocean, where quiet hearts still belong. Somewhere waves are touching boardwalks, under skies washed soft and white, and cafes near the sleeping harbor are waking slowly with the light. The coffee cup stayed half unfinished beside the balcony at dawn. Curtains moved in warm ocean air, while old records played on. Palm shadows crossed the wooden floorboards as sunlight filled the room again. And somewhere down the coastal highway, the sea kept calling in the wind.
The ocean was already glowing before the city fully woke. Soft light spilled across the hallway and through the collar of your coat. You stood beside the balcony railing, watching sailboats cut the haze. Coffee warm and quiet fingers as morning settled on the bay. Down below, the old cafe was opening, chairs arranged beside the street. A radio played behind the counter, low enough to miss between the waves and heat. Palm shadows moved across the rooftops, slowly stretching with the sun. And somewhere near the sleeping harbor, another coastal day begun. You smile without saying anything, like the silence already knew. Some mornings never need words to stay with you. Morning drift through open windows and ocean air, warm light falling on your shoulders while the shoreline disappeared. Every road beside the water still glows softly in my mind, like those peaceful drives at sunrise we never wanted to leave behind. We drove beyond the crowded beaches,
small fruit stands painted blue. Old motel signs beside the highway faded slowly into view. Your bare feet rested on the dashboard, hair moving softly in the wind, as little fishing towns behind us begin disappearing once again. At a quiet diner near the marina, we stayed longer than we planned, watching sunlight touch the tabletop and tide water wash across the sand. You found old postcards near the register, edges worn and colors thin, pictures of forgotten summers still carrying traces of where they'd been. The world felt distant near the coastline, like nothing urgent could survive. Only waves and quiet conversations and the comfort of being alive beside someone. Morning drift through open windows and ocean air, warm light falling on your shoulders while the shoreline disappeared. Every road beside the water still goes softly in my mind, like those peaceful drives at sunrise we never wanted to leave behind. Years later, certain songs still bring me back to that apartment by the sea. The ceiling fan turns slowly, your sunglasses beside the keys, the curtains breathing in warm salt air, the sound of dishes from downstairs, your voice somewhere near the balcony, mixing softly with the harbor air. Memories don't always arrive dramatically, sometimes they enter quietly through light, like reflections moving on ocean water, or distant boats crossing morning skies. Morning drift still lives somewhere near the waves, in empty coastal highways and cafes waking through the haze. Somewhere palm trees still are dancing beside the sea we used to know, and another quiet sunrise is touching the shoreline slow. The coffee cup stayed near the balcony long after the room turned warm. Palm shadows crossed the white walls slowly as old songs played on. Your footprints disappeared beside the tide, near the edge of the empty sand, and sunlight faded through the curtains, like the ending of something beautiful and calm. Morning drifted through the curtains in slow ribbons across the floor. The ocean shimmered beyond the balcony, soft and endless outside the door. You sat quietly near the window, turning pages of a worn-out book. Coffee cooling by your fingertips, while sunlight gathered in every corner of the room. Below us, bicycles cross the boulevard, pastel cafes opening for the day. Summer water plants beside the sidewalk as waves folded gently into the bay. And from the harbor came faint engine sounds, fishing boats returning through the haze. Silver reflections danced across the water like scattered pieces of another age. We barely spoke that morning, the silence already said enough. Some moments don't need language, only light air in the sea between us. See you light moving softly through our days, palm tree shadows on white walls and reflections on the waves. Every empty coastal highway still carries echoes of your voice, like warm mornings by the ocean, where even silence felt alive. We drove north beyond the marina, past motels faded by the sun, windows open to the shoreline, watching little beach towns come undone. You rested your hand out near the breeze, tracing patterns through the air, while old songs play low beside us, mixing with salt and summer heat somewhere. At a tiny cafe near the water, blue chairs face the quiet tide. An old couple sat beside the doorway, sharing breakfast side by side. You smile while reading old postcards found beside the cashier's desk. Pictures washed in faded color, edges softened by the years they kept. The world felt slower near the coastline, like time forgot to keep its pace, and every ordinary detail became something impossible to replace. Sea of light moving softly through our days, palm tree shadows on white walls and reflections on the waves. Every empty coastal highway still carries echoes of your voice, like warm mornings by the ocean, where even silence felt alive. Now sometimes late in crowded evenings, I still remember little things. The ceiling fan above the bed, the sound of cups and silver rings, your sandals left beside the doorway, curtains breathing in warm air, the distant hum of harbor lights reflecting softly through your hair. Memories rarely return loudly, they arrive quietly like time, small pieces of unfinished mornings still glowing somewhere inside. Sea of light still shining somewhere far away, across forgotten coastal mornings and roads we used to take, somewhere boats are leaving harbor, while cafes slowly fill with sun, and another sunrise near the ocean is waiting quietly right now. The coffee cups remain half empty beside the balcony at dawn. Palm shadows cross the wooden floor long after the music was gone. Warm wind lifted the white curtains, the sunlight faded through the room, and the shoreline kept on glowing beneath the slow afternoon.